original.
Hello, and welcome to Web Crawlers, the podcast where we do a deep dive into some of our favorite unsolved mysteries. Each week, we will introduce our topic, lay out our research and findings, reveal some conspiracy theories, and conclude with our own hypothesis. Who knows, we might even solve a case. I'm Allie Screamel.
I'm Halissa Skelton.
Okay, I didn't know we had come prepared with these.
Well, I have one for you.
Okay.
You have, but I don't want to tell her. Make up your own.
Yeah, make up your own.
My name's producer producer Maria Blascari.
Oh, close.
Okay, yeah, I like
that
it.
Works,
It was Blasculci.
That's pretty good, Blasculci.
That's pretty good.
I think that's how it's spelled in Allie's phone anyway.
Bascucci.
Yes, Bascucci.
Web Crawlers has a Patreon to get access to rewards, bonus episodes, shout outs, merch discounts, etc. Please go to patreon.com/webcrawlers. You can donate as little as $2 a month to become one of our bimbo patrons. And thinking of maybe reading some more haunted erotica, maybe like making it a regular thing. Who knows? Please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. And also, Erios has a hotline. Give us a call and we will play your messages on our mini episodes. Melissa, who are our patrons?
Well, actually, there's a new thing on Patreon where you can donate for the year.
Yes. So get that like all out of the way, like a down payment.
Yeah, a down payment. Yeah. So it charges you like whatever you're going to pay every month, you can pay for a full year. So you guys can do that. Some people have already done it.
Dope.
Wow, well, that's great.
Yeah. So some new patrons we have are Tiffany S., Tasman I., Amelia B., Roy T., Helen W., Kate M., Eric A., Kevin S., Hannah D., Sheridan H., Serena M., Amy M., and Sarah S.
That is a lot of you, and they're going to get to come to our Halloween party.
Yes.
Also, good to mention, we're going to have a Web Crawlers Halloween party, costume party for our patrons. So
What day is that?
We have it Friday, October 30th, Halloween costume party live.
Is there some sort of prize for best costume?
Oh, yes.
I'm wondering if maybe there's
a foot pick.
A foot pick in order.
Or one of Allie's drawings.
Mm-hmm.
Or I have all my hand-painted leather to give away, and I've just been waiting because I don't want to go to the post office during Corona, but that's like another thing maybe. I have a jacket that says Hail Satan, like a leather jacket that could be cool.
Yeah.
We'll think of something.
Prize.
Well, you'll get something exciting from us. A autographed picture of the three of us.
Just us photoshopped in together because I don't think we actually have a photo of three of us.
Yeah, you'll get something exciting. Melissa, and this is another spooky episode for Spooktober coming straight at you. Melissa, what is our episode for today?
Well, today we're talking about the Smurl family haunting. Ooh.
Yeah.
So from 1974 to 1987, the Smurl family claimed that they were tortured by ghosts and demons in their West Pittston, Pennsylvania duplex.
Yikes.
Loud banging and scratching in the walls would keep them up at night. Their dog was even being attacked.
Oh, hell no.
Journalists, demonologists, and even the Roman Catholic Church all got involved. And it caught the attention of the media, which resulted in several published articles, a TV movie, and even paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren agreed to consult on the case. Mm-hmm. Some believe this was the product of untreated health issues, and others believe it was a hoax for fame.
Or was it a haunting? Let's leave that open.
Or was it a
real haunting?
What was really going on in the Smurl house? Let's get into it. Okay, so Janet and Jack Smurl's house in Wilkes Barre was damaged by a flood, so they moved into a duplex in West Pittston, Pennsylvania, along with their 2 young daughters, Heather and Dawn, and Jack's parents, John and Mary. They were a very close family. Jack and Janet were both raised as strict Catholics. So the duplex they moved into was built in 1896. And it was a fixer-upper, so it needed a lot of repairs, and they decided to work on it themselves. And a year and a half after they moved in, some weird shit started going down. And at first, it was just small things, like tools went missing, then reappeared. Toilets would flush by themselves.
That happens, I feel like.
That happens all the time. And then wall stains reappeared through fresh coats of paint. Yikes. Horrible odors suddenly appeared in the house. And Jack would clean up a stain on a rug only for it to reappear the next day. Water pipes would break.
Water
Pipes would break. Maybe I'm haunted. And maybe it was just like, old house sounds are settling,
Yeah, like none of that sounds if that stuff was happening, I would just be like, okay, this is like old house renovation
Yeah,
stuff,
it's a money
maybe.
pit. You got Tom Hanks and what's her face?
Shelley Long.
Shelley Long, yeah. And so the family didn't move out though. And Jack got promoted at his job and Janet became pregnant with twins.
No, thank you.
But then they started struggling to pay their bills, and Mary, Jack's mother, suffered a heart attack.
By the way, Jack was a retired Navy SEAL or something like that, his job was working somehow in psychiatry. He was like a tech for like a psychiatric hospital. Yeah, or something weird. So when I read that, I was like, that's just an interesting point. Like, I don't know. It's just like it struck me as like, okay, if he wanted to do a hoax about some sort of spooky thing, and he knew tech and he worked in some sort of like mental institution or in psychiatry or something, like it just seemed like a good background for doing some sort of paranormal hoax. Okay. Anyways, then the eerie stuff started to get worse. Kitchen appliances started catching on fire, even though they were unplugged. Their TV caught on fire. Radios would turn on, and when you went to turn it off, it wouldn't even be plugged in. The bathroom sink and tub had scratches all over them, like an animal was in there. Dawn saw people floating around the house. Mary and Janet claimed to have heard voices. Janet was doing laundry in the basement one day and heard a really soft voice calling her name. Janet. Oh my God, I hate it. Janet. She asked what the voice wanted, and it started to giggle. Mary thought she heard Janet and Jack arguing. Creepy black orbs floated through the home. Janet said she was visited at night by a supernatural force that molested her in her sleep. Yeah. Jack said he was raped by a scaly succubus posing as an old woman with a young body. He said her eyes were red and her gums were green. Ed Warren, when he came later, said he was choked and suffered flu-like symptoms, and an incubus sexually assaulted Janet. Like, they were like fucking. They weren't only haunting, like these ghosts were
haunted and they were fucking.
They were haunting and fucking. Janet, blah, blah, blah. I said that already. During the attack, she heard loud pig-like grunts coming from inside the walls. A light fixture fell from the ceiling, hitting one of her daughters on impact. The family dog was thrown against a wall.
Oh, hell no.
No, yeah. Janet said she was picked up by an invisible presence that dangled her. That would just make me feel skinny. By an invisible presence that dangled her 6 feet in the air and then tossed her across the room. Yeah, I'd be like, oh, sick. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's my worst nightmare. Just put me back down. She also said a human hand came up from the mattress and grabbed her while she slept. One of their daughters was pushed down a flight of stairs. One night when Jack was watching a basketball game on TV, he said a succubus that had a young girl's body and an old woman head, yeah, we just said that, covered in scales, raped him. When the succubus was finished, it left Jack in a sticky substance. Ew. That is goo. Ew. It's like Slimer. Even neighbors reported hearing screams from the house while the family was out, and sometimes they would hear giant bird wings flapping.
Like the Mothman.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What the fuck?
Okay, go ahead.
It's a lot.
Too much. Some would say this is too much. then it's like
Yeah,
you're allowed a
one too many
couple
things.
of these things. But then, like, why wasn't this like international news?
I think it was big news because this was a few years after the Amityville.
Right. It was like mid 70s.
Big time for haunted houses.
Yeah, big time. So multiple priests from the Roman Catholic Church in Scranton showed up to bless their home, but had no clue as to what might be causing the activity. They reportedly encountered no harmful activity while on the property, and a priest actually moved into the house for 2 nights, hoping to witness the demonic forces firsthand, but nothing happened. And this is from hauntinglypa.com. It's a weird note. The Smurls reported that a psychic told them that their house, like the one in Amityville, was the scene of a brutal murder. And indeed, Hauntingly, Pennsylvania did discover a shocking killing in West Pittston, but it occurred decades before and blocks away from the Smurl house. And one coincidence between Amityville and this case is quite surprising. However, the name of this West Pittston murderer who bludgeoned his wife to death with a hatchet was Lutz, the same surname as the family in the Amityville case. So that's like kind of a weird coincidence.
Yeah, the Amityville killer was named Lutz, and then the killer in
West Pittston,
who killed near here, was also named Lutz. It's just like kind of weird. I don't know.
Interesting.
Doesn't prove anything. It was just weird.
It's weird. I don't know. It's kind of weird, I guess. So anyway, the family went on a vacation to the Poconos to get away from everything. But one night, Jack saw a young woman near their campfire. She had blonde hair, was wearing colonial era clothing, and just stood and stared at him. And it disappeared.
It was Maria loving her.
I know. I was going to say, is that Maria?
I know.
Cottage core. Maria and cottage core.
At one of my conventions. But that would actually be a good business to like a Poconos, like camping sites. Like we will haunt your site for, a couple $100. Like we'll scare your party, basically.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Right?
Hell B&B. I've been
Hell B&B.
Well, yeah, but
Yes.
I'm talking about this is like we have an office like, somewhere outside of these camping sites. And it's like you go and you're like, okay, we're going to have a party of 10. We're going to be camping for 4 days.
like spook them out.
You tell us, do you want colonial garb? Do you want like Revolutionary
That's actually a good
War
point.
garb?
That's a good idea.
Maybe that's the same thing. Or do you want like...
Or like dress up as a bear and run through the camp.
Or do you want like
Ooh,
mythical creature? Do you want like Mothman? And so you can pick and then you can scare your party. And it's confidential. So even if we do it, you're never allowed to you sign NDAs. You're never allowed to say that you paid for it.
But what happens though if you're dressed up like Mothman or something and the camper see
Hammersmith Ghost.
Yeah. What if you get Hammersmith ghosted? What if you get shot or something?
Yeah, what if you get killed?
Well, that's part of it. That's the risk you take for a fun weekend.
I guess.
Well, what
that's
were you
true.
going to say, Allie? You were going to say, what if...
That is exactly what I was going to say. What if you get Hammersmith ghosted?
Well, you have to maybe sign like that. No one...
You can't have any weapons.
Yeah. And if there's any hotheads in your group that you can't, you have
They
to
better simmer down.
sign a waiver that says there are no hotheads in your group.
Okay. Yeah. But I think this is a good idea.
Maybe you wear bulletproof vest. Maybe that's not...
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you're just far
Yeah,
enough
that's
away, I think. If you're the colonial ghost, you're just kind of like in the distance and then you get out of there. It's not like you come sit down.
Right.
Oh, so it's not like in like when you go to like the Halloween haunts or whatever, and you're like running after
It's
with
just
a
like
chainsaw
they
and like
see
grabbing
you
ankles.
In the forest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So they can be like,
You're like
did
a
you guys see
specter.
that?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's a great idea. And honestly,
That's a
I'm
great
going to
idea.
leave this podcast right now. I'm going to sign off and I've got a couple things to, I got a couple websites to see.
You got some calls to make.
Yeah. Those are calls to make. Creepycamping.com.
Yeah.
That's what
Creepy
it should
camping.
be called.
Creepy camping.
Okay, continue. Sorry.
So, not knowing what to do, the Smurls contacted Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Doom, doom, doom.
We did an episode on Ed and Lorraine Warren, but for those who don't know them, here's a little background on them. So Ed and Lorraine Warren were paranormal investigators and authors associated with prominent cases of hauntings. Ed was a self-taught and self-professed demonologist, and Lorraine was a clairvoyant, and they investigated over 10,000 cases of the supernatural. And they were among the first investigators at the famous Amityville haunting.
Ooh.
And their case files are the basis for all the Conjuring movies, too. And they claim to have scientific evidence that proves the existence of ghosts. But did they really? And additionally, they were also responsible for propagating a lot of the satanic panic of the 1980s.
Yeah.
And Ed had an underage girlfriend who lived in the house with him and Lorraine, who allegedly he also got pregnant. They're both dead now, and their kids run their paranormal museum. Anyway, back to the episode.
Also, they are the ones who had the Annabelle doll too, and like all that shit, and like from like the Conjuring movies, and I think they might have been in the Insidious movies, but also maybe not. But like Annabelle and all that shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, after inspecting the house, Ed Warren said a demon inhabited the home and was very powerful. It shook mirrors and furniture after they tried to persuade it to leave by playing religious music and praying. I would leave a house after religious music was
Christian rock.
Oh, no
Some
way.
Creed.
Yeah, I was going to say. Ed claimed he felt a drop in temperature and saw a dark mass form in the home, and the demon once left a message on a mirror telling him, "You're beautiful." No, just kidding.
That's
Telling him
sweet.
to
I was
get
about
out.
to say that's really sweet.
Yeah.
You're
Have a good day.
You're enough.
You don't need that. You don't need all that
you're
makeup.
enough. Ed alleged that he had a number of audio tapes containing knocking and rapping caused by the demon. He said their house was a passageway that connected the living to the dead. Come on. Lorraine said they shared their home with 4 spirits: a harmless elderly woman, a young and possibly violent girl, a man who suffered and died in the home, and a demon that used the other 3 spirits to destroy the Smurl family.
Wow.
Sounds like an amazing reality show, you said. And then the media came. Group prayer sessions and exorcisms were conducted, yet the attacks continued. So the Smurls took their story public in hopes that someone might know how to help. But the press latched on and refused to leave. Reporters camped out in front of their house 24 hours a day. People would drive by hoping to catch a glimpse of something from another dimension. The Smurl family found themselves at the center of a media circus. A coven of witches showed up asking to conduct a seance in the house. And we're going to be doing a seance too, I think, on the 25th. Kids would walk by with boom boxes blasting the Ghostbusters theme. That's kind of
fun.
tight.
Kids are
that's
fun.
a cool own. Yeah, that's sick. In 1986, the Smurls told the press they were tired of the constant media bombardment. However, within a few months, they had authored, along with Ed and Lorraine and Scranton newspaper writer Robert Curran, a paperback book version of their story called The Haunted. The book was highly criticized. One review says Robert Curran forsakes the principles of his trade to give readers a one-sided account of what did or didn't occur over several years in the Smurls' home. It's always like, and I wrote this a little bit under, but I'll say it now. Like, it's always funny when someone says they don't want attention and like they're just doing this, and then they like they're authoring a book and like writing a movie and like getting money for this haunting.
We don't want all this attention. And
Yeah.
then they have a movie come out.
Yeah. Reviewer Mary Beth Gurman wrote that the book was poorly written, adding that it is hard to conceive of a supposedly sophisticated objective, and as far as I know, at least until now, credible reporter like Curran taking their story seriously given the complete lack of any empirical or physical evidence to support it.
They just wanted to make money.
Yeah.
So in 1987, the family packed up and they left their duplex. They claimed that supernatural phenomena followed them to their new home.
Also, their mom lived on the other side. The grandma lived on one side of the duplex and they lived on the other side.
Yeah.
Was the grandma's side haunted or just their side?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Maybe it was the
I think it was
grandma.
just their side.
Maybe it was the grandma just being like, "Why can't I live here too?" Like, and every
Just,
time,
like, beating
beating
on
on
the
the walls and setting stuff on fire.
And she was the one who raped the dad.
Yeah, of course.
Oh my God, this is getting sick.
No.
No, this is scary.
It was just her in a mask. Like a young woman mask. Ew.
Horny for loving.
No.
Sexual loving.
What's that, Allie? That's turmeric latte with ice?
Yeah, it's my turmeric latte. I have like sore throat, but I don't think it's COVID because I haven't seen anyone. I just think I don't know what's going on.
It might be the air. There's like you can still smell the smoke in the air.
Or it's that weird oxygen tank you made me get.
Oh my God, I love my oxygen.
Maria,
I want to get one.
You should get them.
this doesn't make any sense in like the flow of the podcast episode, but Maria is obsessed with this weird. It looks like something you would do whippets out of. It's like a whipped cream canister, but it's filled with oxygen, and you're supposed to just huff oxygen out of it. And so I got it, and it just smells. It's like rosemary scented, but it doesn't do anything.
It does. You're
but
just not
Maria
allowing
swears
it to.
by it.
You're just not allowing it to. It says recharge and recover, or it betters your aerobic performance.
Aerobic performance.
Yeah.
This is the 80s.
It says it's a nootropic brain booster.
See, now you have the better one. So you have the think tank. Is that what that's called?
Yeah. Yeah, but it's only 95% oxygen. What other 5% is it?
Air.
What's the difference between air and oxygen?
It's just the other 5% is just it's ambient air. That's what this one says. It says 95% breathing oxygen, 5% ambient air.
Oh yes, ambient air. And
That stuff was on Shark Tank, I think.
And did
right?
they buy into it?
I think it was.
I like breathing it in through my nose and pretending like I have an oxygen tank.
That's so dark.
In a week, you're just
People
gonna
with
have
oxygen tanks are probably like,
Well, why wouldn't I like walk around with an oxygen tank on my back and like those two little pronged things you put in your nose and then just an IV on my arm? I bet I'd feel
that sounds
great.
nice.
You kidding?
You would feel great.
I used to get regular IV injections. I love them.
Really?
Yeah, remember I would go to that place in West Hollywood and I would get like the IV drip, the hydration drips. I'd like feel great
Yeah.
after.
Really? I need that.
Yeah.
See, I'm gonna be. Yeah, I would love just like tubes coming out of me.
You want to be like a precog or like one of those people in the Matrix when you're in the jelly machine and you're just all hooked up.
I've never seen The Matrix, but I get it. I don't need to see it. People talk about it enough.
Look, I've never seen The Matrix. Like, I haven't sat down and watched it, but like,
There you go.
I know.
Oh, I love
I know
those
all the
movies.
references.
Overcoats.
I get it.
Blue pill, red pill, sunglasses, wires.
And that slow-mo scene with the bullet coming. I get it.
Code.
Okay.
Those egg things
Sure.
with the bodies in them with the
Egg things. Are there egg things?
I'm not going to tell you.
Are you thinking Minority Report? Are there egg things?
No, there's also when they get reborn into the Matrix,
Oh my God. Well, don't spoil it, Allie.
They're not that
because you're going to see it soon. You're going to see it soon. Yeah, good point. Good point. Okay, continue.
20. Okay. They moved, yada, yada. Okay, so they moved, and they claimed that the supernatural phenomena followed them to their new home until an exorcism in 1989 cleared their house of its activity.
Oh, finally.
And since then, experts, priests, television producers, and journalists have all scrutinized the Smurl story. And the subsequent owner of the Chase Street duplex, Deborah Owen, said nothing unusual has ever happened in her home. So the person who lives there now is like, I don't know what these guys are talking about. So in 1991, the TV movie The Haunted came out, and you can't find this movie anywhere except for a horribly uploaded copy on YouTube, at least in America. And so, yeah, like I tried to find it. I can't find it anywhere.
Yeah, and I couldn't get through the YouTube version. It's like so bad.
Yeah.
It's like someone recorded it on their iPhone.
It's kind of like what's that movie? That Netflix show that came out that I didn't. I got all the way to the last episode and then I just never finished it. What was it? It was with Timothy
Oliphant?
No, the other Timothy. The one
Chalamet?
No, the one that was in Ordinary People. What's his name?
Robbins.
No. Timothy
Taylor.
No.
Tiny Tim.
No, the one with the family in the home.
The Haunting of Hill House.
Oh, when he cut off his arm.
What did you say, Allie?
Nothing.
What did you say?
Cut off his arm. What? Wait, which one's that?
I was actually thinking of the HBO show with Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo.
No, I'm talking.
I know this much is true.
The haunting, the Hill House. The
Haunting of Hill House.
Haunting of Hill House.
That's this is reminiscent of it, where like the one guy writes the book, and like the rest of the family is like, oh, all this stuff happened in our house.
There's a new
the
series
Haunting of
from
Bly.
It's
House?
and I couldn't get through the first episode. It was so boring.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah,
man.
It was so boring. But I don't know. Other people like it, I guess. I don't know.
That's a bummer.
Well,
yeah.
You win some, you lose some.
I'll just take some of my
Teach
oxygen.
out the truth.
So was this all a hoax? Professor Paul Kurtz of the State University of New York at Buffalo, and then chairman of the Committee for the Scientific Investigation of Claims of the Paranormal, which is the craziest name.
What's that? What's the acronym for that?
CSICOP.
COP.
Psychop.
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 I like it.
Cool.
So he sent 2 teams to the house to investigate, and when they got there, the Warrens wouldn't let them inside the house. But the Smurls decided to let one of the teams inside. They didn't find a single thing. And they asked Ed Warren for his tapes and the recordings he claimed to have made of the demons, but Ed couldn't remember where he put them.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I don't know. I gave them to someone. I don't know where they are.
Come on.
And so Paul Kurtz said the Warrens weren't objective, independent, or impartial investigators, and characterized the Smurls' claims as a hoax, a charade, and a ghost story.
Ooh, dis.
You know what I think the Warrens were? I think the Warrens believed. I think they did like 1 or 2 things that may have had something behind them, to it. Mm-hmm. And then they had to keep it up for their brand. And so then they would just do stuff that just, then they became liars.
Then they,
sometimes you just have to lie for the brand.
Right. But I do think, I don't know. I think that, but maybe I'm just thinking of them from The Conjuring being like, oh, they're good people. They were like, like. No,
I think that they maybe like something at first, like really, really spooky happened where like they couldn't explain it. And then they just became the go-to people. And they're like, oh, we're making money off of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To keep a television show going, you've got to have creepy things happen every single
all the time. Yeah. It's true.
That's Tinseltown, baby.
That's how it goes.
Fake it till you make it.
Or fake it when you make it.
Ooh, wow.
Fake it when you make it.
So Kurtz even proposed to pay for the family. This is from the website Occult World. Kurtz proposed to pay for the family to spend a week in a hotel with a private security guard while a team of investigators examined the house.
Oh, wow.
He also offered free psychiatric and psychological examinations, and they still said no to all of that. So that was also like a red flag.
Yeah.
So the Psychop investigators, they cited discrepancy in Dawn Smurl's accounts of her experiences, and they were also critical of the Warrens, and they suggested some natural explanations for what was going on. First, they said some abandoned mine voids in the area that could have been settling and creating strange noises. They also said that it was probably delusions by Jack that he was raped by a ghost. Maybe it could have been some sort of like poisoning from the mines, like carbon monoxide or something that was making them
carbon monoxide
hallucinate or something. A broken sewer pipe causing the foul smells, or pranks by teenagers. Kurtz also pointed out that there were no police records or complaints about the haunting, and said, though she had said that she had contacted police, there was no evidence of this. Also, the fact that they wanted to work in Hollywood, and they had contacted Hollywood film companies shortly after the story broke in the press, was indicative that this was probably some sort of hoax. Then there is some mental health stuff. Kurtz said that the family's claims were possibly due to delusions, hallucinations, or brain impairment, and suggested that they get psychiatric and psychological examinations. Jack Smurl told a newspaper reporter that he had surgery to remove water from his brain in 1983 because he had been experiencing short-term memory loss due to a case of meningitis in his youth.
Yeah.
Allentown psychologist Robert Gordon said that it could have been a case of mass hysteria. We learned about that. Something on foo, right?
On foo?
there's a French word for when a whole
Folie à deux.
Yeah, folie à deux. Yeah. Something on foo.
Something on foo.
Something on foo. Oh, you mean folie à deux?
Something on foo, filet on deux.
Something on foo.
Allentown psychologist Robert Gordon said that it could have been a case of mass hysteria because people often look at demonology to explain many tensions that they experience as individuals and within their families. And it's this kind of thing where Ed and Lorraine Warren were creating this, like, anytime there was some sort of disturbance, they were like, it's probably a demon or a ghost.
Yeah.
Like, this was part of the satanic panic. The neighbors had also been complaining for years about a foul stench coming from the sewer line, so that could explain the odor. There was also intermittent settling of houses in the area due to the mines that could have caused all the shaking.
Were these experiences legitimate, or was it all a fabrication? Well, because the Amityville Horror was early 70s, and this was right after it. So there's I think they may have
it's a
saw how
copycat.
Successful that was.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, let's, we could probably turn this into a movie, and they did.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's kind of like a copycat case.
Yeah. And then Jack Smurl actually died in 2017.
He had like diabetes or something, right?
Yeah. And they had 4 daughters, and I found one of their daughters, Karen Smurl. She's 38. She works as a social worker and a paranormal investigator.
Shut the front door.
Yeah. So she kind of kept it in the family.
That keeps things interesting.
Define paranormal investigator, though. Like, are we paranormal investigators?
I
don't think so.
Oh, here she is.
No. I think if you
I'm on her
go
Twitter.
somewhere and you have, like, what's the EVP thing? To, like,
Oh my God.
read-
Oh my God, look, paranormal investigator salaries. You can make up to $50,000. Median annual wage is $49,270.
How much does it cost to have a paranormal investigator come to your house? Like, how much do you think people charge?
Well,
like
I'll tell you right now,
$1,000?
their median hourly wage for a paranormal investigator is $23.69.
Nice.
$23.69.
We should go to people's houses. We just need to buy one of those EVP things.
Yeah.
She posted on her Twitter, "Happy Father's Day in heaven. Dad, your guiding hand will remain on my shoulder forever. I miss you every day you're gone. Until we meet again, I love you."
That's nice.
It's like a graphic. It's like a picture. Those aren't words though. It's a really weird.
I wonder how much money this family actually made from that movie, because it was like a TV movie, I think.
Yeah. I know. They probably didn't make any.
I know, you
They
can't
probably
make that
made
much money.
$5,000 tops.
Yeah. And so in the end, the Scranton Catholic Diocese did investigate the house as well. Father Trabold was a representative, and for a time he stated that he worked with the Warrens until he discovered that they were not sincere, they were not purported to be, and were given to sensationalizing. And he chuckled when explaining that when he went to one of their lectures, they saw him and toned down their act. So he wore disguises when he went to their future talks.
Whoa.
That's
Whoa.
weird.
Like
Okay,
what?
sorry.
Like a
I'm still on
mustache?
Karen's Smurl's Twitter. So she says, paranormal investigator, haunted survivor, radio co-host, educator, and caregiver. And then I'm looking at who she's following, and I feel like she's so horny. She follows.
Who does she follow?
These are like all she follows: Mark Ruffalo, Ryan Reynolds, Chris Pratt, Jeremy Renner, Chris Hemsworth, and Chris
Yeah,
Evans.
she's a Marvel
And then,
head.
like, some
She's
other
just a
people.
Marvel head. Is what she literally follows every Avenger. Is what
Yeah.
you're telling me. Like she only follows
the
Avengers.
Oh my God, yeah, because she also I didn't say it, but she also follows Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, no, she follows
Oh, yeah.
every single Avenger. She's like,
At first, I thought you said she was a marble head. Like her head was full of marbles, but now I realize you said she was a marble head.
She's a
she's
marble,
a Marvel head. The Marvel comics.
Wow. Interesting. Just like a weird turn she's made. Maybe she thinks of herself as like a savior for humanity, that she has to like save the world from demons. So she really like understands.
That's
the
a
Avengers.
fun
She,
Avenger
like, relates.
character, just like a paranormal investigator.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, that's kind of just like the Ghostbusters, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird that she doesn't follow any of the Ghostbusters.
That is weird.
Anyways, I digress. Anything else to say on this episode?
So do you guys think it was a hoax?
I think it was a hoax for sure.
I think it was a hoax too. I think it was they just saw the Amityville Horror and were like, "Oh, we can do that."
I mean, it is a smart move. Like, I'm just thinking right now, like, okay, what if I were to buy some house in like, Connecticut or something like that was really old and really run down, and then I just started saying like these weird things were happening, and I started getting money from that, and then I was able to, live a very comfortable lifestyle.
We should get Erios, haunt Erios, have Erios be haunted.
Well, I'm pretty sure where Erio's offices is located, and the fact that it's
by the ghost of success,
it's subterranean, and you do have to fear walking from your car to the front door. I believe that it is a very scary place to work.
It is.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's for
Ghosts
sure.
are not.
I saw Karen Smurl tweeted August 20th, 2019. Yes, yes, yes. She retweeted an article that says Matrix 4 is officially a go.
There we go. Oh my God, weird.
There, you see?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's one of us.
She's one of us.
I should follow her and we should have her on the pod.
I would love that.
Okay. Anyways, so yeah, I think that's a hoax. But if we've already talked to some people on the live shows who I think have been haunted for realsies.
Sure.
That woman who grew up in the movie theater.
Oh, yeah.
That was a crazy story.
That was cool.
If you have had any experiences with haunting, please email us, call us, let us know, because we would love to hear it. And please leave us a review, join our Patreon so you could come to our Halloween party and all that jazz. I am Allie Smurl.
I am Melissa Smurlton.
And I'm producer Maria Blasucci Warren.
Got it.
Cool.
Bye.
Bye.